Lactation, so you help them to nurse.
Oh,
that's
absolutely,
great.
absolutely.
That's great.
Sometimes babies don't want to nurse in the first 24 hours, but usually right after birth, they're interested in latching on, and they're awake and alert and love to nurse. And yes, I'm there to help with that as well.
Right. My first didn't nurse in about the first 18 hours because it was kind of a stressful birth at home, my first. But, you know, it was really nice to have my midwife there and to just support me and just going, don't worry, this is normal.
Yes, it's okay.
And then also understanding that no milk comes in for the first up to 3 days. Yes.
Right, exactly.
And the baby will be fine.
Yes. That the colostrum is full of wonderful nutrients and protein and antibodies to help protect the baby and nourish the baby.
Right, and can you explain what colostrum is?
Colostrum is what your breasts provide for the baby for the first 3 days until your milk comes in. And it's sort of translucent and clear, but full of protein and wonderful things for the baby. Right.
So the baby loses weight, but that's a normal process until the milk comes in, and then that milk is so full of proteins and good vitamins
and good things. Good things for the baby. Yeah, great.
Well, it's been so wonderful having you give your wisdom to us about your experiences and talk about birth. We're really grateful that you were able to be on the show today.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate being here.
If you'd like to know more about Claudia Brown and her home birth services, you can check out her website at homebirthkauai.com. And today we have a special musical presentation with the Voice Weavers Choir led by Ronda Rice.
I will be gentle with myself. I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. I will be gentle with myself. I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. I will be gentle with myself. I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. I will be gentle with myself. I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment.
Welcome back to Emergence. Our next guest is Suni Karl, and Suni is a home birth midwife and the founder of Sacred Birthing Foundation, a nonprofit that has been developed to educate families about all areas of birth, from preconception to 9 months post-birth. She's also the author of the book Sacred Birthing, Birthing a New Humanity, and we are so honored to have her on our show today. Aloha, Suni. It's so nice to have you join us today.
Thank you.
So I would like to know what inspired you to become a midwife in the first place.
My mother having 6 girls. There was always a baby coming around, and at 10 I told her I would deliver babies when I grew up.
Oh my gosh, so you really knew it was your passion at a very young age.
And traveled after it. I read great big fat midwifery techs from England when I was 17, and then had my babies, and at that point I thought, oh, I'll never be able to be a midwife because then I'm a mother.
Right.
So I had to wait a long time, but I realize now that looking back, it was because I needed to come at it from a different perspective.
Right, from the perspective of your own life.
And from the perspective also of a spiritual perspective that was taking into account more than just the physical baby being born.
So you have a different approach to birth than most midwives have. And can you tell us a little bit about what that means?
Well, I developed very gentle ways to birth babies, and learning from the baby themselves. I was able to hear the baby talking. I was able to hear my spirit guidance, and so I could ask the questions, you know, what happened at that birth? Why did it go like that? What am I supposed to learn from this? And I could hear the answers and learn from it. And so there were lots of ways that I started using to receive a baby that nobody else was talking about, nobody else was doing, and it just made me go into a whole nother arena that thrilled me.
And what were some of those ways that you were doing that were different than midwives or doctors at the time?
Lotus birth is one. Not taking out the phlegm of the mouth of the baby. Most babies can relieve that themselves. You know, just very gentle ways. Basically, you receive the baby. You don't pull, you don't touch, you don't do anything. Mama's muscles and baby work together in this amazing dance, and if you just stand back and receive the baby, then it's magic, and the baby's not traumatized by that.
So non-intervention, almost completely, is your approach, it sounds like.
Unless, of course, you need to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and you're very experienced. About how many births have you done now? Too many to count?
No, but what I was doing was really doing the births that would support the book and support the learning I was traveling on. So it wasn't about the numbers and the number that I did. It was more about how deeply could I do it in order to learn what I was on the path to learn. So there was great learning in it, and many hours per birth.
Right.
I added it up many times and was amazingly found myself at 130 hours.
Working with the mother or the couple.
Yeah.
Wow, so a lot of pre-work.
Lot of pre-work. What I find is that a good birth comes out of a lot of preparation work, and it's you know, from before conception on to birth creates that good birth. If you don't pay attention to this amazing process happening inside, then there's all sorts of things that you're going to meet in labor.
Right.
And if you work with those things as you go along, then the labor is wonderful.
Right. So when you talk about those things, are you talking about their fears or their attitudes and their approaches to the possibility of giving birth? That would be the preconception. And then giving birth.
I really believe that the baby knows who its mom and dad are, and at a higher level of who you are.
Right.
And you know, in order to raise this baby, this mama has to do her inner work in order to be the mom that will raise this baby. Right. So there's a lot to address in pregnancy. There's a lot of fears. There's a lot of what I call inner work. Right. You know, that just addresses so many areas that we ignore or deny, and it all rises during pregnancy because the hormones just let it rip.
Right. So actually, discussing the pregnancy now, the mom's fears come up that have with her own birth. So she's going to give birth, and she's bringing up fears of her own birth at the same time. So we were discussing earlier preconception. So tell us a little bit about how you would approach a couple that want to conceive, how it would be different than just people that are already pregnant. What would be how you would approach that?